Touchdown, West Philly!
A chance for the Chargers, and they score!
In the front, Fuzzy again!
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Breakfast with Ken and Ben. My name is Ben Barber. That, of course, is the legend Ken Collins. And it is a beautiful Wednesday, April 23rd. Good morning, Paula. It is a... Paula, you want to come on the show sometime?
Come on, Paula.
Paula's going to be on the show. It is a beautiful Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025. One of my least favorite days of the year.
Your what?
One of my least favorite days
Why?
of the year. 28 years ago today, my sister passed away.
Oh,
And it was a Wednesday. I looked this up last night. There have been 4 Wednesdays for April 23rd in the last 30 years. 1997, which is when she passed. 2003, and then 2014 and 2025. So 11-year gaps the last 2 times. But yeah, it was a Wednesday. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Like it was yesterday.
Yep, I was in 4th grade. I had we had a guest teacher come in. She wasn't a guest teacher, but she like made the rounds, and she came in and she taught us about the Rosetta Stone in ancient Egypt. And then I went home and I told my mom and my sister all about the Rosetta Stone. My sister told us about dissecting frogs in biology because she was in 11th grade. And then she left and went out with her friends and they got into a car accident, and she did not make it home. But yeah, that was Wednesday. That was a Wednesday, April 23rd, 28 years ago.
28 years ago.
Not my favorite day of the year, Ken.
Well, it's odd too that something like that we remember.
Yeah.
You know, you don't remember some of the good things sometimes, or you say, "Yeah, I remember that," but it was around April. But something like that, you remember almost right to the time.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. We got a comment. My guy, Smooth Water Collins. I don't even know. I don't even need to tell you who that is.
No, that's my man.
Morning, Calvin. I wonder what he started with because it's Wednesday, so he had his show this morning.
That's right.
I wonder what he started with this morning on his early show at 6 a.m.
Well, I'm sure he had something on there for Miss Hazel.
I'm sure he did, as he always does. He
guy.
sent me a picture of him and one of his, I think, nephews or something in a suit.
All dressed up?
All dressed up.
Yes.
And he said to show it to you on Monday. I didn't see it.
I got it.
He said he sent it to you.
Yep.
I was going to show you this morning. They do a fine job at Toscano's Men's
Don't
Shop.
they?
They do.
But my remark to him was, that's right, put that hat on.
They do a fine job at Toscano's Men's Shop.
But I said, you got to remember too, Calvin, that I said, my man Calvin to work with.
Right.
You got to have something to
You got to have
with.
a good, yeah. Paulie's suits aren't going to look as good on me as they are Calvin.
Or me.
Yeah. So.
But he did. He looked sharp.
He did. He looked great. He looked fantastic.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
I got to see Paulie, but yes, he did a great job. But like I said, you got to have something to work with. He kept telling me he was going to get
a suit. Yeah.
Yeah, he kept telling me right from the get-go. First time he went to Paulie's, he said, "I'm not going nowhere else. I'm coming here when I'm ready."
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, why wouldn't you? So what's new, man? How you doing? You're almost a week removed from hernia surgery. How you feeling?
A week tomorrow. Every day is a little bit better.
Still driving with 2 feet?
No.
Good.
No.
Good. That means you can drive. Go.
Yeah.
Good.
It and I noticed today not as much soreness as it was even yesterday. So getting there now. And of course, you still got the stitches in there,
Yeah.
which they're supposed to dissolve themselves.
I slept weird last night, and I woke up, and this is all tight, like because I slept kind of weird, and I was straining I was straining my shoulder and my and I thought that it was appropriate because my sister was always a pain in the neck.
Good. Great.
Take that, Bev.
Yeah.
Typical little brother, right? Got to get the punches in.
Really?
Even though it's been almost 30 years. So
that's all right. You never forgot. You never forget him.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So question for you.
Yes.
Last night there was some hack calling a baseball game on 3-2-1.
Mm-hmm.
And I texted you and I said, hey, listen in and tell me what you think about this guy. Cause he doesn't have it, he doesn't have it. So what did you, I earnestly, I said, listen, give me some critiques. What do you think? How did I do last night? I was calling the baseball game solo, which is not preferable. I would prefer to have had a partner. Like I said, I literally said yesterday on the show or the day before on the show, if I'm calling a game, something terrible has happened. But I was calling the game yesterday and I texted you and I said, hey, if you're feeling up to it, watch along. And by the way, DJ found birds again. I don't know if you saw that part.
No, I did not.
There were some geese in the outfield at some point, and she just starts zooming in on them, and I'm like, "Don't miss a pitch, please don't miss a pitch." And she's like, "They're part of the team now." Ha 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 ha. And at one point, she said that they were foul, and I thought that was great.
Oh, nice.
That was foul. Yeah.
Yeah, she always comes up with something.
She does.
Once she figures out the terminology.
Yes, but I do love that she's just like, I don't care what's going on. If I see a bird, I'm zooming in on.
Well, birds of a feather.
Anyway, how did I do?
Okay. Baseball. No, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Baseball, to me, and I haven't done that many baseball games.
Okay.
But baseball, to me, is you need two guys. You need two people.
I agree.
Because there's a lot of
downtime.
Yeah, a lot of time. The pitches take so long.
Yep.
There's only so many things you can say. I mean, and I think like basketball is my favorite to do, and it's one of the fastest. But I like basketball.
Yep.
Now it helps if you know baseball, or you know the sport you're doing. Now, do you know baseball as well as you know basketball?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I would say I know baseball probably the best out of any sport.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why you were saying this should happen or that could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it not seem like I knew baseball?
I would say no.
Really?
Well, only because and it was probably because you were looking for things to say.
Okay.
And like, well, yeah. And
to be fair, it was a 17-0 game.
Was it the final?
It was 17-0.
And
it's not like
I wasn't listening to the 17-0 score.
Oh my God, it was a blowout. Yeah.
I figured it was going to be.
Yeah.
When I listened, it was a pretty good game.
Okay.
And I think when I switched it was like 5-0.
Okay.
So I saw the best part of the game.
Sure, which was about 10 minutes.
Well, I don't know. They had some pretty good. They had a little action going on there for a while.
Yeah.
A lot of wild pitches. Yeah. Both pitchers. Michael Poole got control in the second inning and kept it throughout the rest of the game. But the first inning it looked rough. He had a little bit of control issues getting settled in. And then the pitcher Dubois for the Huskies had some control issues as well and never really found it. And then when he did not get helped by a bunch of errors. Yeah,
I actually said I actually said in the second inning while he was having his control issues, I said, if he can find a way to just get the ball over the plate, they seem to have a great defense, and I think that they'll take care of it. Get the ball over the plate, let them put the ball in play and see
Make
what
contact.
happens. Yeah, just let them make contact and see what happens. Unfortunately, what happened was a ton of errors, and that did
So
not.
they were not that good behind him. But
They had a bad day, at least. I don't, they had a bad day for sure behind him. But the final score, the final score here. Let me see.
now they have a mercy rule, don't they?
They do, and they used it.
Is it 10? Is it 10 runs? Or?
It is 10 runs. It ended up being 17 runs. 7 errors. There were 7 errors.
Yeah, if you make 7 errors, you're not going to win too many games. Definitely.
So somebody said, "What's up? Nothing showing. ... yet." I don't know what you mean. Let me check it out on 3-2. We're there. Nothing showing up yet. I don't know. Hey, Richard. So anyway, the 7 errors. The Bulldogs only got 10 hits. They scored 17 runs. They only got 10 hits. So that goes to show you how many walks and errors there were.
But it was a 5 inning game.
It was a 5 inning
Yeah.
game. Yeah. So, 10 hits in 5 innings is a lot. Especially when there were no hits in the first. And they didn't bat in the 5th. So
Right, that's what I mean.
yeah.
So,
So
they
second, third,
actually-
and fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 10 hits is
But yeah, there wasn't a lot of strategy for me to for me to talk.
no.
about
I will have to say that when you do a game like that, it's just like a blowout football game or
Yep.
a basketball game. Same thing. They're the worst games to have to do.
They are.
They really are, because then you just want to get the game over with, and a lot of the players feel the same way. The team that's ahead, they want to get it over with, and the team that's behind, obviously, they want to just get in the bus and go home. So it's not an easy thing to do. And like I said, baseball, a lot of downtime in between. The pitches take too much time sometimes.
Yep.
And it's one of my least favorite. And I love baseball. That's what I played. I played baseball more than I did basketball.
Right.
But it can be boring.
It can, for sure. I know. By the end of it, I was like, I'm glad this isn't going.
Yeah, you can't wait till
'cause-
the final out.
Yeah. But it gave me, calling it alone gave me a lot of opportunity to mention each sponsor
Yeah.
that came up and
Well,
do
that's
those
what you-
things. And
Unfortunately, that's what you have to do. Now you have to. There's only so much you can say about what's going on in the
exactly.
field now.
Yep.
So now you got to revert to maybe telling stories about something, about baseball, anything, to keep the audience, because they're not going to listen and they're going to turn it off.
Mhm.
So that makes it more difficult than a 2-1 game.
What's interesting is I was watching the view count the whole time as well. Win-lose audience in the blowout. I think that they were interested in seeing how many runs the Bulldogs were going to score. But that was definitely it was definitely an interesting game to call. I've been able, last year I was able to call some nail biters, which was really nice.
Yeah.
And obviously that's more fun, and but this was it was what it was. But I feel a little bad that it sounded like I didn't know baseball.
No, it's the way the game was going. That's all.
All right.
I just asked if that was your favorite, or
I think baseball is the one that I know the most,
that's what
as
I'm-
far as
yeah.
I know football very well and I know basketball very well, but I'm not.
See, I would think football. because you played.
Yeah, but I'm not able to call the. I mean, yeah, but I was a nose guard, so it was line up, run forward. There wasn't a lot of there wasn't a lot of skill position to that. I can't like dissect a play in football. I can call the action of what's happening, but I can't dissect a play. Same thing with basketball. I'm gonna tell the story of the game more so than they're in. I mean, I can tell when they go man to man and when they're doing a full court press and stuff like that. But in general, I'm not looking for those specifics of somebody who would have coached or whatever may have you. But yeah, baseball. I think baseball is probably the strongest sport that I have the most knowledge of, as far as
Well, see, that's why you were saying, this could happen. Right now the bases are loaded, and if they get a base hit here, it would be nice. And if they didn't, well, a fly ball would be nice to get another run in.
Yeah.
So you were trying to.
I was trying to say what could happen and
right, exactly.
what the bases
instead of what is happening.
Right. Yes. Well, okay. So when you saw it, I think there was a point where Michael Poole had the bases loaded against him, and he got a little dribbler back to him, back to the
mound.
Back to the mound, and that really helped. And then a pop up, and then a strikeout. So that really, really helped, and that was an easy thing. And then Dubois had the same situation the next time, so I was trying to talk about those being the things that he needed, and then I think it was double. And there were a couple long singles that then had errors on them that then turned into it, and it was just it was a game.
And I will say, in honesty, I know you were not present.
How dare you? How dare you?
Well, I'm just.
No, I was not. I was calling
Right,
I was
okay.
calling from the field.
So that is not the easiest thing to do.
No, it's not.
I mean, I'm sitting in my living room. I have a 55-inch or 50, whatever it is, TV. You know it.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there, and I can say I can do play-by-play off of that.
Yeah.
But it's not that easy.
No, especially with baseball. It's easier in some sports.
Right.
To do
basketball probably is pretty good because it's condensed.
Yep.
Now you get a fly ball. There was a fly ball to the left center field.
No idea what was happening.
Exactly. And you had no idea who caught it, who didn't catch it.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So those are the things that I noticed more than anything. But
sure.
I didn't blame it on you. I blamed it on
DJ Gadget.
That's the way we do. Well, no, that's the way we do it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's hard enough when you're there because the baseball field is big. I mean, you're not talking a basketball court, which is very confined compared to a baseball field. I mean, you got the fences of 300 and probably 350, 390 to center field.
Yeah.
And you hit a ball out that way, and it's hard to see if you're at the game.
I know.
So I'm going to give you a definite pass on that.
Well, hey, thanks.
Because that's difficult. And you love to be able to say, there's a long drive to left center field,
Yep.
Back goes Joe Blow, and he reaches up, grabs it at the fence. What a catch by whoever.
Absolutely. Would have loved to have done that.
Yeah.
Would have loved to have done that. So give me a grade for what you saw.
Oh, from what I saw and knowing the situation, you get a good grade.
All right.
There's no definitely.
All right.
Like I said, it's not one thing. Remember when they had the bunt?
Yeah.
Oh, I think Wesley scored a run. That was a play, I don't know if you realize that was a play from Ronnie. That was a suicide squeeze.
Yeah.
Did you know
I
that?
don't remember I don't remember.
It was early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think, matter of fact, I think Poole was on third. They might have even had the bases loaded. I'm not sure.
They scored that an error on the pitcher. That was a play.
Oh, okay. They could have called it an error on the pitcher,
Yeah.
but you didn't notice it probably, but the runner from third was running on the pitch. So it was going to be a squeeze bunt.
Yeah.
And if that kid didn't miss it, Poole could have been out at the plate. But
Right.
as it was, the ball got by the catcher anyhow, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
But now well, you know what a suicide squeeze is,
Of course, I
right?
know what a suicide squeeze is. Yes,
So-
Ken.
So that pitch was in the dirt, and I think it went to the backstop,
It did. Yeah.
and they counted the run.
Yep.
But I could see that Poole. I think it was Poole.
Yeah.
Poole was running
Running
on the pitch.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a pretty good play at the time.
For sure. I think that some of the I was also looking at my notes a little bit on some of the things and seeing what so it's hard to do when there's one of you, and you're trying to find your notes and you're trying to see what's happening and do all of that stuff.
What I do if I'm doing a baseball game, and people do them different anyhow. But I'll have it. I make a chart, and I'll put in this case a Westerly defense.
Yep.
Gwaltney or whoever's playing left side. I put
Falcone and Fiore.
I put them. I fill it in, and then over here I put on the bottom of the scorecard that I have, or it's a piece of cardboard I make it out of. I put in this case, the Huskies lineup. So now when I'm looking, Wesley's in the field, and this is the lineup for the other guys. So I know who's coming up on each inning, and then I'll make a little mark at the end of the inning to say who's coming up next inning.
Right.
And then I'll flip it over, and I got the same thing on the other side. So, I mean, if I'm going to go do a baseball game, that's the way I would have to do it. I want to know who's playing where. And it's so difficult in high school, especially, to get that information ahead of time. Not unless you know. It's easy for the home team, because we know Ronnie. We all know Ronnie, and you can go to him ahead of time and say, "Look, can you call me at such and such a time so I can and give me your starting lineup and positions, and then you can fill them in." As before you get to the field, and it makes it a lot easier.
So now for baseball, they have this app called Game Changer. And by the way, if there's an away game that you're really interested in that 321 isn't covering, you can download the Game Changer app and you can follow along. So there's a couple different things. Sometimes there's video. I know softball does video, but that's just depending on whether a parent has a phone and wants to do it. But it gives you the box score, and it gives you the plays. And what they're doing is, instead of just having a kid fill out a stat sheet, they're entering in every single play, every pitch.
Yeah.
So if you're in football, when Dave's producing remotely, he's like, is it 4th and 17? Is it 4th and 13? I don't know exactly what it is. And we can't necessarily see the scoreboard, et cetera, right? This is, you have the official stuff directly in front of you on the app, and it's put in roughly 2 seconds after it happens.
This is every game?
This is every game for baseball and softball. So if you're looking at now it says recap, so it has a big recap of the game. But there is a live stream of the game, and you can watch it in the plays, so it just comes up. Or it's this with the chart, and you'll see it says Davies is at the plate, Simmons is behind, Poole's on the mound, McDonald's at first, Miners at second, Parker's at short, Zeberini. Michael Poole has his second pitch that he's thrown 3 pitches now. He walks Davies. You can just see it all in real time. So that necessity of calling Ronnie is no longer there, because they have a coach or someone doing it live. for
But
you.
is that available before the games?
It is.
Obviously.
It is not really available before the game, but like last night you didn't see the end of the game, but last night when they had all of the, they basically switched out 7 of 9 players by the fifth inning. Every
that's
time there was
another thing too. They change them.
every time there was a pinch runner, every time there was a pinch hitter, I had it and I knew exactly who it was. So for both teams. I think there was only one player on the Huskies that they didn't have. Whoever came in relief, number 14, didn't have a name on it. But other than that, you had everybody. And it also gives you a preview. So like it gives you because it has all of the stats from all of these schools, it will give you, so Thursday is Mount Hope. Is Moses Brown. And right now there's no info on it, so never mind on that. Maybe that's a different app. But hold on a second. Yeah, so it shows you the staff, it shows you the players, number 10, Cam McDowell. It actually has. Are you related to Chase Collins, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
Number 7. Yeah, it has the 19 players. It has photos for all of the players. It tells you their first name and last name, their number. It'll tell you it'll tell you some stats.
But it doesn't give you the starting lineup, does it?
Yeah, it does. It does. But
when?
Probably 10 minutes before the game.
You see, you're talking to me now.
I know.
If I went to the game, see, that's all new stuff to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I would have to train myself for that. It would be easier for me just to get the starting lineup and do what I do. And people look at you and say, well, what are you doing? You don't need that. Just take your phone. To me.
Yeah, exactly. No, I understand.
You could use it to get the information. That's good.
Yeah.
And the starting lineups, I'd like to have them before. Like when we did, the last time I did a baseball game was when Charahoe won the championship at
2018, yeah.
So I had the benefit of, obviously, Charahoe. I knew all of them anyhow.
Yeah.
So that part was done. So all I had to do was get a hold of the, forgot who Ponagansett.
I would say, by the way, 80% of the Westerly players are returning players from last year's championship team. So it was nice because I already knew them. I think that the only one, maybe Falcone, didn't start last year, and I'm sorry if I'm wrong about that. And Jack Tenuta was the first baseman, and now that's McDonald. Other than that, I think it was the same starting lineup as last year, which really helped. But you needed to get Ponaganssett's information.
Yeah, and we did do a game a couple of years ago. That was my last game, I think I did. And that was Westerly when they played at Rhode Island College a couple of years ago when they won the state tournament. But the Charahoe one was at McCoy, which was very nice doing it at McCoy. You had your own booth. It was perfect up there. But, when you're old school broadcasting, it's that's the way you're used to doing it. And, change is hard for me. So I would probably do it the same way I did it. But I didn't realize you had all that information. I know you can get the rosters and all that good stuff. But
yeah, and
sometimes
there's nothing on there. Sometimes they're wrong.
Yeah.
But this is very helpful and very accurate.
See, I could use that ahead of time to get the information.
Yeah. So, and you can get. Now I'm confused because I already have Game Changer Premium, so I'm wondering why it's saying I don't. Because you can get the stats, you can get every player's stats, because it will because you're putting in the stats live as they happen. So then it will compile the stats for you as you go. And so I'm wondering why. Yeah, Game Changer. I have it. I have premium. What are you doing to me? Why are you
Now, is there a cost for that?
yes, Game Changer is free, but you can get all of the stats and everything else. You can get premium for $9.99 a month or something.
So you get. So what do you get for Game Changer?
For the
For nothing, for free.
you can follow along with the game. You can
That's
follow
it.
yeah.
You can't get no other information.
You can follow along with the game while it's live. You can't get the stats
Right.
or anything. But you can follow along with it while it's live. If you get the premium, you can watch the video when there are videos. Like I said, softball team does videos, which is great because sometimes we can't cover every softball game. So I love that you can watch it on there.
Yeah.
I have watched softball games that we couldn't cover on Game Changer.
But it makes it more difficult, I think, in the end, doesn't it?
What?
I mean, following the game along there. I mean, it's a lot of. To me, I'm just old.
It's
school.
the same. It's the same exact thing as looking down at your paper. Once you know, once I know the lineup, once I know the batting lineup, I'm not looking down at it. Once I know once I know the like I can tell you right now, Simmons behind the plate, McDonald at first, Minor at second,
Yeah.
Parker at short, Zeberini at third, Falcone in left, Gwaltney in center, and Fiore in right. Poole was on the mound. James Hooper came in. He's been their closer for the last 2 years. Well, Zach Minor was kind of their closer last year. D2 player. So, I mean, you get you.
Yeah, I can.
It's same thing.
Right,
Same
yeah.
thing. You
But
get used to it.
Then you got the other team that's coming in, so you can't do that with them right away. So you gotta.
No, but for me at least, looking at it, and after the first inning, I know. So
It's like basketball. I mean, you when you first, like the first part of the year when you do Westerly playing whoever, you got, especially if you got newer players, it takes you a game, not a game, but it takes you a little while to get to know them.
Yep.
So now you go to game 2 when you got another team coming in, so now you got to learn them.
Yep.
So, and you don't see them probably not ever again.
Mm-hmm.
So, but basically, all you're learning is 5 guys, and that's not hamburgers. So, but in baseball, you got different. I know it's slower, but you got a lot more guys that you got to memorize, so to speak.
Yeah.
But once you get to do, like if I did a Westerly game, baseball.
Yep.
The next time I went to do it, like when I did the championship game, I think it was 2 out of 3. So I had them back-to-back nights.
Yep.
Well, the second night I knew who was catching.
Same thing. Yeah. They did a series with East Providence.
Yeah.
Last year, the last spring that I had to call, and by the second game, I knew the East Providence players. Yeah, but I mean that's the cycle of high school sports. It changes every day.
Yeah.
It changes every year. You don't know who, and I think that's what makes things a lot of fun in high school and college sports, like having the new, like there's always a new crop of players. It's not the same team year to year, and it's not, well, sometimes in college now, but it's not because of money. It's not because of like trades. It's not because of that stuff. It's just these are the kids coming up right now. So,
but another thing though, which still talking about baseball.
Yeah.
Is when you have that, and I didn't know about that, by the way.
What?
That game
The
changer
Game Changer
thing.
app, yeah.
But if you do have that though, that helps you can become a one-man operation.
Yes.
Because now you can look down and you can say, well, Gwaltney's up at the plate. He's 2 for 3 in this particular game. He got
Should have watched the whole game, Ken.
Right.
Should have watched the whole game. I was doing that.
Oh, right.
I was like, he's 1 for 2, and he walked and scored a run.
Right.
And,
So I didn't. That's when you have in the olden days, that's what you have a score. I did it with Lou.
Lou, yep.
Lou was my guy.
And by the way, I wish this app existed for all sports. It does not. So that's like, I wish that this game, I mean, it would be incredibly hard to do it in basketball, to live score on this that way. But
baseball is slow. And plus, not only could you tell what Gwaltney did his first 2 times up,
yeah,
but it's fill. You could use it for fill too. You know, like if there's a little bit of a delay, well, I just use Gwaltney because I know who he is, or Collins. You could say, well, you know, coming into today's game, he was hitting 323, just to fill a vacant spot in the broadcast.
Yep.
But normally I wouldn't have all that information if I went to do a game.
No, and I just hit myself in the face.
You did.
I just hit myself in the face with that.
They find you on the floor and they'll think I knocked you out or something.
Well, I mean, I think
careful.
that's and then immediately, so this the live game, right? The live game feed turns into a recap also. So the Coastal Graphics post game show yesterday
so you can
just me going,
that's
so
cheating. No, that's cheating.
So Zebarini collected 3 hits and 4 at bats for the Bulldogs. He doubled in the 4th inning, singled in the 3rd, and then doubled again in the 4th. Westerly Bulldogs got on the board in the bottom of the 2nd inning, scored on a wild pitch. Jaden Parker stole home, each scoring a run. Blah 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 blah. It's all right there for you. So I know.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm not.
Gadget said it's cheating as well. It's not though, because but maybe in high school, but like if you were calling a professional game, right, you would have producers handing you stats and you would have all of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's still doing your homework. It's still doing your homework because before the game, you can look and see exactly what the stats are for each player, who's leading and batting, who's doing this, who's doing that.
Yeah, except it's right there for you. You don't have to do you have to do phone calls.
Yeah. We're millennials, Ken. We don't like talking on the phone.
No, yeah, that's for sure. There's no doubt about that. But, I mean, you would have to make contacts to get all this information, and now they handed it to you on the phone. See, I didn't even know about them.
Yeah.
The only baseball games that we ever did really were playoff games.
Okay.
Because we found that, you know, it's different now because they play at different times. You got fields that have lights. But back in the day at ERI, we didn't cover too many because there wasn't no interest in it as far as sponsors. And that's, as you know, that's what it's all about. Because they played every game like at 3:30. People are getting home from work. You know, you're not going to get in the audience, and it's hard to get sponsors.
Yep.
But now they'll play at 5 o'clock. They'll play at 6. You got lights at Similori.
And also so, you know, a game may happen at 3:30 and we may cover it, but unlike radio where it's gone after it's live,
right?
You know,
it's different.
Parents can watch if the parent doesn't get out of work till 7.
Oh yeah,
they can watch their kid's game afterwards.
That's what I was getting to. It's a different world now. So you can carry all that stuff.
Sorry, that's Fiddler on the Roof that I was just quoting.
And also, softball is easier to do than baseball.
God, I love softball
because it's quicker.
Softball is my favorite sport.
Yeah,
to cover for sure.
I mean, it's like me going to watch a game. I'd rather go watch a softball game.
Yeah,
in an hour, there's always something going on.
I said to Dave and DJ last night, still went 2 hours.
Yeah,
Mercy rule as soon as it was done as soon as it could be. Still went 2 hours.
Well, just think if they didn't have the mercy rule,
I know,
you'd still be there.
I would still be there. Yeah, because I don't think that they could have unfortunately stopped Westerly from scoring runs. That was
those are the toughest games to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they are. They really are.
So
in other words, you did all right.
In other words, I did all right.
No,
listen,
you did.
I'll take
you
it.
didn't. You know, I couldn't see anything that I mean, to talk in between. How many times can you say? Oh, you could say when the batter comes up, you know how the outfield's playing them.
Yeah.
This guy's a left-handed batter. They're playing him a little bit toward right field.
Yep.
Oh, the wind is blowing a little bit out toward left.
Well, when you got a camera person who's, zooming in on Geese, I'm just throwing her under the bus.
Yeah, keep throwing her under the bus. DJ, that's not me now.
DJ, that was Ken.
But it's not easy,
No,
especially if you're not on site.
I
which
agree.
makes it
I agree.
Altogether different.
But sometimes it's, it depends. I disagree with what I'm about to say when it comes to baseball and softball. When it comes to baseball and softball, it is 1,000 times easier to be on site. It is very difficult to call baseball and softball remotely. I do not want to do that. I did it yesterday because I also had to do some producing and other stuff. Most of the other games, I want the commentator to call what's on the monitor anyway, right? Like you want in a lot of sports, in a lot of things, in a lot of, especially on TV, right? Like you're calling, like NFL broadcasters are up in the, like, yes, they can see the field, but they also have the television monitor in front of them.
Sure.
And they're calling they get taught to call what's on the monitor because that's what the people at home are seeing. And if you're not seeing it at home, why are you calling you know what I mean? What are you calling? Now, having that bird's eye view of being up in a box and being able to do that in the broadcast suites, press boxes, that's fantastic, right? That's the best. But, for the most part, you want to be able to acknowledge what the people saw at home, right? So if you're like, yes, if the camera missed something, it's fantastic but also it's good to acknowledge what they saw at home. So like I see the benefits for other sports, basketball, sometimes football, etc. It's easier. It's as easy to call remotely as it is in person. It is nowhere near. It's almost impossible to fully call a baseball game remotely. Well,
right. Yeah.
So I'm going to take that as I did the best that I could, Ken.
No, you did.
And I will take my participation trophy. Thank you so much.
That is that's what I told Hazel because we were watching it together.
Yeah.
And I said,
is that the first game she's ever heard me call?
No, she probably heard some basketball.
Okay.
But I said, this is not I knew you weren't there.
Yeah.
And I said, that's very difficult to do. I said, I can sit here now and try to do a little play-by-play for you.
Yep.
But it's difficult. I mean, how many times can I say the wind's blowing out toward left field?
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing. People think it's easy. It's not.
That's why I say things like it's a beautiful day out.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful day. And
absolutely.
As the weather's getting warmer and you want to keep some of your cool air inside, it's a great opportunity to call Coastline Window Treatments and check in on Honeycomb Shades because they're going to keep your house warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Call Coastline Shades today. And Michael Poole with the pitch.
No, you have to do that, especially if you're alone.
Especially if you're alone. And it really helps to be able to see what's on the screen while you're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, if you got somebody with you, especially in a blowout game, it's a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
Then we can just start talking about whatever.
Yeah. It's the time of the games is what makes it difficult to get more people involved in calling the games. And
that's why people go to watch softball games versus baseball games.
Because it's
quicker.
Yeah.
There's always something going on.
I also meant the time that it starts at. A lot of people are just getting out of work, just getting out of school, just getting home, etc. It's not like football where it starts at 7. or basketball where it starts at 7, it's easier. When a game starts at 3:30 in the afternoon, a lot of people are still working, still, if they're at school, some of the kids that we work with are college kids. They got to travel home from Rick or URI or something. Like, it's, is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and what you're trying to do is great because it gives a chance for people to see their kids play.
We
But
have
it's
talked
not
for
easy.
we have
You
talked
just-
for 45 minutes about a baseball game.
We did.
We've talked for 45 minutes just about this. I love this because on the way here this morning, I thought, I have no idea what we're talking about today.
Sometimes that's the best way.
Sometimes it is the best way.
I did the morning show for years that way.
Hmm.
I never. It's like sports open mic, same thing. Sometimes those are the best.
Absolutely. We're working on something
Yeah.
that I think is very exciting. I can't announce it yet.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
I can't announce it yet, but we're working on a fundraiser, a fun night, a big party, for that we're gonna. I'll just know that last night I had an idea and I talked to some people and it was very
Receptive to other people.
very what?
Receptive to other people.
Yeah, somebody called me and they asked for some help getting some attention for something, and I was like, and then I put that together with an idea that Rona had, that she approached me with a couple weeks ago, and then so something big could be happening 1 month from today, and I'll find out later today if it is going to happen, and if it is, you won't hear me talk about anything else for the next month. So yeah, have you ever, by the way, completely separate, have you ever participated in the duck race?
You mean get thrown in the river with the other duck?
That's coming up this Saturday.
I know it is.
This
yeah.
Saturday, the annual
I
duck
thought
race.
about that yesterday. I said, wait a minute, the duck race is this week.
Yep. We'll be talking about it tomorrow on the show when you are not here, and we'll have we will have the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce in here,
Yes, that's a
as
big
we do
event.
every Thursday morning. It is their event. So the chamber will be here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We'll be talking about the duck race and Trash and Fashion, which is coming up tomorrow. Do you know what that is?
Mm-mm.
So Trash and Fashion, they take recycled, trash. You make clothes out of
Oh,
just
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And so that'll be at the United Theater tomorrow night, 7 p.m.
that's
Trash and
right. I do
Fashion.
remember that.
Get your tickets. That should be a ton of fun. And then Springfest is right around the corner, May 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Sneaking right up on us. I know, really, because you got the Kentucky Derby coming up.
Yep. When is that?
The May first Saturday in May.
Wow.
Whatever the date is. And Springfest is right after it.
May 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Yeah.
Which is usually Mother's Day weekend, I think.
Mother's Day is around the 20th, isn't it?
No, when is Mother's Day this year? Hold on.
It's got to be.
May 11th, Sunday, May 11th. So it's the Sunday
Really?
of Springfest.
Yeah.
Carrie
Yeah.
Sherman says, let us know how we can help with the fundraiser. Thanks, Carrie. I didn't even say what it was yet.
Oh, let's see. See that?
That's so nice.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
so
there's
nice.
a lot of people that would just help out, no matter what kind of a fundraiser it is.
Yes. So we're
When are you going to make this big announcement?
I will probably make it on Friday. I will if we get the approvals today and tomorrow, I will make it on the morning show on Friday, the announcement.
Stay tuned.
So stay tuned for that announcement on Friday at the morning show with Ken and Ben in the morning. It's big though. It involves music and fun and dancing and a lot of stuff, and we're gonna try to help out the 3 of the schools that we cover. So that's That's as much information as I can give you for right now.
Yeah, keep talking for about 10 more minutes. I'll get it all out of you.
Well, that's good because we only have 5 more minutes on the show.
Oh, that's it already?
That's it, man. Well,
Oh.
you lectured me about how bad I was at baseball for 45 minutes. You said, Ben,
Why
you
don't
are
we-
the shits.
Why don't we do a game together
Let's do a game together. We'll do a
But-
game together.
at the field?
We'll do a game together at the field.
Now, when you're in Westerly, do you use a press box or no?
We can use the press box. Yeah.
How about right behind home plate?
We could do right behind home plate. Get a little table.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can do right behind home plate.
that'd be perfect.
Yeah, we can do that. That's fine. When is the hold on, let me look. Let me look at the schedule. I still got to get you to do a lacrosse game. All right. So this week it's the 23rd right now.
Sounds familiar.
Yep. It's the 23rd right now. There is a let's see here. Tonight at 5:15 we'll have Cheraho baseball. Jacob Aruda will be calling that game. And then
Yeah, Dan's busy this week.
he is very busy this week. Yeah, and we don't have any games on Saturday. And then Friday we have baseball at Westerly against you know what? Tomorrow, Thursday, 4 p.m. Cheraho.
What about it?
You want to call it?
You just said Jacob's doing it.
That's tonight. Jacob's calling tonight and Friday. Jacob's calling tonight and Friday.
Where's tonight's game?
Cheraho. Tonight's game is baseball, Cheraho.
So they play tonight and tomorrow night?
They play tonight and tomorrow night. Yep. Cheraho baseball tonight and tomorrow night. But tomorrow night is Stonington Cheraho at Cheraho.
What time's that game?
4 o'clock.
On site. Oh, me and you?
If you're interested,
Oh, we could.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. All
4
right.
o'clock. We in the press box?
We could be in the press box. We could be on the field. We could be on the field. We can be anywhere you want.
I think up there you're probably better in the press box.
All
I
right.
think. Because I mean, a lot of the people are right around home plate. That's what they said.
Yeah.
In Westerly, I think right behind home plate would be. I think I did a game from there once.
There's that little like
Yeah.
dirt path. Yeah, we could do that. We
Well-
could do that. Or next week, if you want to do Westerly, because it's right around the corner for you. If you want to do Westerly on the 28th, so on Monday, you and me and DJ could do Westerly baseball,
What time?
5 o'clock.
I have a doctor's appointment at 2
Okay.
in Guilford.
Okay.
I should probably be all right, but I'm not sure.
Well,
That would be good though. That game. Who they playing?
Pilgrim. No, Prout. No,
Oh,
Pilgrim. There's also a
well, it begins
softball.
with a P.
There's also a softball. If you want to do softball, we could do softball on Monday. Me and you, Westerly Prout, which is probably the game I would do. 4:30. Well, that's earlier. That's harder for you.
Yeah.
So baseball, Pilgrim. Listen, there's 4 games on Monday that we could.
They're all on Monday.
There's 5. There. Hold on. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. There are 6 games on Monday. All right. There are 6 games on Monday that we could potentially call. Westerly High School baseball versus Pilgrim at 5 p.m. Westerly High School softball at 4:30 against Prout. Westerly High School girls lacrosse at 5:30 against Cumberland. Westerly High School boys volleyball against Holman Shea at 6:30. Stonington High School baseball against Wyndham at 4 p.m. or Cheraho High School boys volleyball against Bishop Hendricken at 6.
If I had my choice out of them, but it's
You would
Monday.
do girls lacrosse.
Yeah. No, I do the baseball game.
Okay. Baseball at 5.
I think if I but as long as I can make it back from Guilford.
I think you can. If you're up to it, if you feel, do you think you'd feel up to it?
I don't think they're going to do anything to me. They've already done what they got to do.
All
It's
right.
a matter of. It's just a matter of if you get in for the appointment on time.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Those doctors down there are pretty
listen,
good.
I'll go. I'll do it. I'll do Monday at the field. Wait. Monday, I have roll call.
That's right.
I got to get someone to cover roll call. I can do that. I can get someone to cover roll call. I'll call a game with you Monday night at 5 p.m. I'll be there. DJ will be there. We'll start it. And then
This is at Westerly,
at Westerly, we'll start it. You get there when you get there.
behind home plate.
Behind home plate.
You'll have all the stats and all that good stuff.
I will.
All right.
I will. I'll write them all down for you from the app. I'll write them down from the phone so that you can use them.
Well, no, if you don't, then you can just do the play-by-play, and I'll just do the color.
All right.
I don't care.
I get to call a game with the legend.
Wow.
I know. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to. All right. So we'll need a table and some chairs.
Yeah,
All right. Sounds good.
I know. I'm sure you've done it for me before.
I've done it from up in the press box,
Not from in between the screen.
not from in between. No,
I think there's room. I think I did.
there's room. No,
Yeah.
there's definitely room.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think it's better there.
there's definitely room. I mean, we can definitely do it. Not an issue whatsoever.
All right.
And
All right.
yeah, that's good. Also, that press box is like those stairs are steep
Yeah,
for that press box,
is-
and the press box, the window is like as big as one of those
I know
windows.
that's the worst part about it. They didn't build it so we could broadcast.
No, it's Greg. When Greg does the games, he has all of his stats up in both windows,
Yeah.
and it looks like one of those little windows that you would like stick a pie out of, like in the middle of the woods. Like that's how narrow the box is.
I think I did a game up there when he played.
Back in the 90s.
Greg played, right? For
Yeah,
West?
he was a first baseman.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, I think he was a first baseman.
Yep.
And
So-
I think I remember the name of the pitcher, Orth. Jerry Orth.
Yeah.
Very good
Volleyball
pitcher.
coach now, I believe, right?
Is
Or,
he?
or
Yeah.
softball coach.
Yeah.
Coach, I know Jerry Oth is a coach
Yeah, he
of
was
one of those
I think
things.
a left-handed pitcher.
Yeah.
he was
Well,
good.
because Lila is a phenom softball pitcher now. So I believe Jerry is the he may also be volleyball, but he's the softball coach.
Yeah, see, we never done that many baseball games, so I remember some of them.
Hold on. I can tell you right now if he's the if he's the softball coach.
Chris Reed, I think, was the head coach then. Great guy.
Boys varsity softball right now 7-2. They're doing great. I'm sorry, Chris Luppy. Chris Luppy is the coach. Sorry, Coach Luppy.
Softball.
For
Oh, yeah, I
softball.
knew that.
Yep.
He's been coach for quite a while.
So Jerry Oth must be the volleyball coach then.
Yeah, Chris has been a coach for a long time.
I know that. I know Coach Luppy. Coach, I'm sorry.
Does a good job.
Send your hate mail to
DJ.
DJ Gadget. Yep. Send your hate mail to DJ Gadget.
So check me for that one.
Every episode I'm gonna say send your hate mail to, and then a different person here at 321. Who did I said Sal yesterday, right? Said
Yeah.
send your hate mail to Sal Moreno.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tomorrow it'll be Jacob. Anyway,
So this is Monday we're talking about now.
Monday.
I can't forget that because I'll be my doctor's appointment.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, tomorrow 4 p.m. Tomorrow 4 p.m. at Charahoe Stonington. We'll see what happens. So
Who's going to do that game?
I don't know,
You?
probably me. Probably me. I don't know, Ken. Life is long and sometimes short and scary and it's unpredictable and
It's
scary and
I just tell everybody, don't grow old.
okay.
Because see, then there's a lot of things that you want to do that you can't do anymore. That's
Right.
not fair.
Yes.
See, I'd like to do a lot of these games. That was my thing.
Yeah.
But it's so difficult now, you know.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I can do what I do,
Yeah.
I think. But
We got to try to get you to do a game remotely so you can see what it's like because it'd be easier on you than driving and walking up the stairs and doing all of those
yeah,
things.
I understand what you're saying, but to me,
You miss something. You absolutely do.
you
Yep.
have to be there.
Yep.
That's the way I look at it.
Well, sometimes we can't be, unfortunately.
I know.
But that's part of the thing of being able to do so much of what we do is,
Yeah, I know.
you know. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. For Breakfast with Ken and
Time
Ben.
flies when you're having fun, huh?
Absolutely. And when you're getting ridiculed for how bad you are at commentary.
No, don't say that. I didn't say that.
It's the end of the show. Time for my Mr. Rogers moment. There we go.
You got to wear that hat at the game.
I have to wear that hat at the game. I already stand out like a sore thumb. Okay, well, all right.
Do we have headset microphones? Or we're
No,
not using
no,
them?
we'd be wearing the little guys. So,
All right.
all right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all of our sponsors who have been scrolling at the bottom all day. Get your tickets for Trash and Fashion. I think there may still be ducks available for the duck race. Go check that out and get your tickets for Springfest. Go to squamicketfestival.org. Check out all of that stuff and make sure that you tune in tomorrow morning for Business Over Breakfast with the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce and Friday morning.
Make sure Friday morning too,
Because
Oh,
we'll
both,
have a-
both.
Yeah, tune
Yeah,
into both.
definitely.
But Friday morning, Ken will be back and we'll have a big announcement.
All right, good enough. Can't wait.
Can't wait. And also check out the 50 Under 50 series happening Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. right now on both the 321 pages and the Ocean Community Chamber pages. Okay, that's it. Bye for now.